Hi, my name is Michelle Ipati and this is my story. So I started working in the community sector about 20 years ago now. Actually, when I first started, I was volunteering. I had been through a lot of my own personal struggles, both as an individual and then also as a family. And when my kids got a little bit bigger, I wanted to be able to do something to sort of give back to the community. So I started volunteering for a local charity, just helping people out, giving them food and helping with utility assistance and things like that. I just did that 1 day a week. And I had been volunteering for a couple of years and then a job opportunity came up. And I was really excited by that. So I started working for a different charity organisation, ended up being with them for a total of 10 years. And then I got offered this job here with Christ Mission Possible, and it's actually been 10 years this year as well. So 14 years ago, I actually had a life-changing experience. I ended up having like a medical emergency, and I was told by the doctor that I, was actually going to die. And they performed emergency surgery on me, and luckily I can say 14 years later I'm still here. But I remember as I got better, after about 6 months of healing, I had to sort of make a decision. What did I want to do with my life? You know, when you're faced with life and death, you think to yourself, what's most important? And at that time, I was volunteering for the organisation and working part-time. And I decided that I wanted to commit my life to helping other people. And so that's how I started really working full-time in the community sector. I felt like money wasn't important when you're facing that sort of situation. It's about the connection that you have with other people. It's about being able to serve people, love people, and just try and be someone that's there for others. So that's how I started. Now that I'm working in temporary accommodation, it's really opened up my eyes just to see how much need there is in our community, how many people are really isolated, and how many people are really hurting and lonely. And I think we can have our own ideas about why people become homeless. And a lot of times, unfortunately, there can be a lot of judgment to people that are homeless. But working with the homeless every day, there's so many different reasons why people become homeless. Sometimes it's because of a sickness and they're no longer able to afford their rent. Sometimes it's because of a relationship breakdown, a death in the family, or domestic and family violence. There's so many different reasons, and I think meeting people every day and just seeing them as not as the homeless community, but as individuals has been such an eye-opener. And people just want to be treated with dignity and respect. And I think that's something that we all really pride ourselves on here at Christ Mission Possible. It's providing a place, I think, of unexpected dignity and unexpected hope. I remember hearing some years ago, someone said to me, they're just homeless. What do they expect, 5-star accommodation? And I was like, yes, actually, that's exactly what we should be providing, because what would we want to stay in if we were homeless? Would we want a place that's clean and safe and a loving environment? We would, And so that's what we aim to try to provide to each person that walks through these doors. So I think, it's not our place to judge people. It's our place to love and to serve people. So with our island community, one thing that I remember finding really surprising working in homelessness was when one of our island brothers or sisters would walk through the doors, and I seriously would think to myself, why are you here? Because I know that our community, we take our family members in. It's very unusual that there's not, somebody that will take in someone that's going through a hard time. But what I've experienced over the time is that a lot of times it can be because that individual has got undiagnosed mental health. And so because of their behaviours, it's meant that family members don't know how to respond, don't know how to handle that person, their loved one. And so, relationships have broken down, and then, across the family, no one's, willing to help them anymore. But it's just because the person hasn't been able to get the right support and help that they need. I find it really sad, when I see them, because you can see their hurt and you can see their confusion. And so for us, when we, after they've stayed here for a couple of days and we begin to see, what possibly has led to their homelessness, we're then able to speak to them about different supports that can help them on the rest of the journey. But I often find as well that they're often open to prayer, which is a beautiful thing, and just having that prayer spoken over them, and just that comfort, and just just encouraging them again, that it will be okay, and that if they're able to get the help that they need, that they'll be able to reconnect with family again. I think when any individual or any family realizes that they are about to become homeless, or on that day they've become homeless, I see them when they walk through these doors and they're just overwhelmed, and often there's so many tears as we're showing them into their accommodation. Just that feeling of hopelessness that people feel. But all I can say to people when they come in and they're so vulnerable and just so overwhelmed is that just to take one day at a time. So to come into this accommodation, to be able to, we can either provide them with a meal, or they can cook a meal for their family that night, have a good sleep, and then the next day we just go again. One of the worst things that you can do when you're feeling so overwhelmed is to isolate yourself. Just reach out and know that people aren't going to judge you, that there are people that want to be able to help you. Hi, my name is Michelle Ipati, and I am married to an amazing man, Tayao Ipati, and this year actually we'll be married for 30 years. Been together for 33. It's been an up and down road, but mainly up. And we've got two beautiful children. So Joel, who will be 30 this year, and our daughter Sade, who will be 27 this year. They're both been such a blessing to us both, and we're now blessed to have an amazing son-in-law, Paul, and two beautiful grandchildren, Jazara, she'll be 3 very soon, and little Hezekiah, little Hezi, he's 2 months old. Amazing, beautiful family, and we actually all live together in the same house. So it can be a little bit crazy sometimes at our house, but it's just the way we like it. We love having a generational home, love waking up to the grandkids every day, having the opportunity to play with them in the evenings when we get home. And it's just a real joy having our family live with us. So blessed that we have that opportunity to make that happen. Ty and I, we arrived in Australia back in 1995. We were 20 at the time. So basically when we arrived here, I just had my son, 6 months old. He was on my hip, and we just had 2 suitcases and a baby bag, and that's it. That's all we came here with. And we were blessed enough to be able to stay with some of Tayao's family for a little while. coming from NZ and coming to stay in Australia, initially we weren't sure if it was something that we were going to do long term, but when we arrived here, it really hit hard to me. What I had left behind. I had left behind my dad and my mum and my brothers and sisters who were a massive help and support to me. And I know for Tayao as well, he left behind his dad and his siblings as well. So it was really hard. It was really lonely when we first came here. You know, just little things like we didn't have a car for a number of years and didn't really have a community for a while, actually. We started from scratch. So it was, you know, going to the grocery shop and doing all our groceries and bringing that all home. Joel's stroller was our car. It was always loaded up with our shopping and stuff, and the struggle was real, and it was hard. It was isolating at first. We're blessed now that we have an amazing community of friends that have become family. We're both blessed now. I have a sister that lives here with her family too, and Tayao's brother lives here with his family. You know, so that's been amazing. But yeah, initially it was tough. Both Tayao and I are really blessed to have two beautiful children. They both have really soft and loving hearts, and they both are always there for other people as well. I know our son especially, he's got a really amazing group of friends and they all can count on him. And that's something that we really admire about him, is his beautiful soft heart. He's actually a man of very few words, but his actions speak really loud. And our daughter, she's just full of love. She's full of laughter. She brings a lot of joy to us. And she's also brought us 2 grandchildren, which is actually the best thing she's ever done in her life. But yeah, having grandkids is just next level joy. I think, you know, as you get older, you slow down a little bit. You're not so stressed about things, and when you're with your grandkids, that's all that matters. Everything else can be going on crazy. You can have had a really hard day. There can be different struggles and stresses in your life, but when you see them, that all just melts away. And yeah, they just light up your life. They're a true blessing. You know, my prayer and my hope for them over their lives is that they will grow up into be strong, confident and loving individuals that bless other people's lives. Yeah. I think my home to me it's layers. It's layers of reality. So it's layers of struggle, of hardship, of pain, of grief, but it's covered by God's grace and His love. And through God's grace and His love that He's shown to each and every one of us in my family, our home has become a sanctuary, a place that is a place of refuge, a place where we not only gather as immediate family, but we also are able to gather our friends. People who are struggling can come through our doors whenever they need to, and know that this is their home too. Yeah, so I wrote this in July of 2011. It says, "Given a second chance, but how do I live with this body I've been left in? Tell me, where do I begin? Parts cut away so I could stay. God, I pray, how do I do each day? I know I'll be okay, but today I'm so unsure. Feel like I'm shipwrecked, washed up on the shore. Alive but lost, don't know how to get back to where I was before. Don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I'm still searching for my new door. Today, the pain's so raw, tears stored up, they finally roar. I haven't heard their voice before. I want to be a light that shines so bright, but I'm still searching for my new door." My faith is everything to me. faith is the only thing that's got me through the years. There's been some really hard times in my life. I wasn't always a Christian. I didn't always have a faith in God. In fact, I actually had always said that I wouldn't have a faith in God, which sounds really bad, but the God that was presented to me when I was a child, I was really, really afraid of God. I just thought that if you did anything bad, that you could just get struck down and just killed, sort of thing, that you were going to go to hell. So I was really fearful. I was fearful of God growing up as a kid, and I always thought to myself, I don't want my children to experience what I experienced when I was younger. So for many years I wasn't a Christian, and life was okay. It's what I knew, but it wasn't okay. So my husband and I, we'd been married for about 10 years, and we were pretty much looking at getting divorced. I was looking at moving back to NZ with the kids, and I'd just had enough, and probably he'd had enough too. The struggle was real in our marriage, and we didn't have any really solid examples around us. We weren't hanging out with anyone that went to church or anything like that, and in fact our house was the party house. That's where everyone came and got smashed, and we had good friends back then. I'm not dissing our friends, we loved our friends at that time, but it didn't help us as a family, and we were a long way from God. But we both knew of God, but we both had different experiences when we were kids that had led us down a different path. But we happened to just visit a local church when they had a Christmas production, and so we just were going along for entertainment, basically. But then when we walked through those doors, I remember hearing the praise and worship, and there was just something in my soul that cried out. And actually I started crying, and I didn't realize how much hurt and how much pain I was carrying at that time. And so that was our door in going along to that Christmas production, and but in actually encountering Jesus and beginning to understand the love of our Heavenly Father. And from that time on, I was still a little bit shady because my husband Ty gave his life to God first, and at first I was like, you're just trying to be good so I don't leave you, right? So there was a little bit of time there that I was just watching him, but I saw a man who had been pretty angry to me and to others around him, just because of the trauma that he had gone through and everything like that. But sometimes you take your pain out on the people that you love the most. And I saw a man that was hard, that no one could get close to. I saw his life change, and I saw him become loving, caring, understanding. But most importantly, I saw him begin to have joy in his own life. So I was like, okay. So I sort of kept going along to church and then observing. But I knew that God was working in my heart pretty much from day one that I walked through those doors. And then, I gave my life to God, and it's just been amazing since then. Not always easy. Sometimes people think, give your life to God and everything's going to be all sweet. It's not. But you have a strength, you have a hope, you have an assurance that there's something greater than you that can lift you, that can hold you, that can guide you. And so, so I think having faith now in my own life has impacted everything that I do. My relationship with my children, just seeing their lives, our home life became better. So they became happier, they became more confident, and I believe that it helped them as well. I was able to I guess, just be a better mum because of the faith that I had. You know, I was a lot more relaxed and that sort of thing. And then just seeing my grandchildren taking our little granddaughter Jazara to church with us on Sundays, and then listening to her in the car on the way home, just, you know, singing her songs and, you know, read your Bible, pray every day. You know, just seeing that little light in her already growing, already glowing, is a beautiful thing. And I know, and my prayer is that from her being born into a family where God's love and His peace and His grace is, that our grandkids will be able to not have the struggles that we had. Sure, they're going to have struggles in life, but they'll know from an early age that there is a loving God, that there was a sacrifice that was made so that they could walk into their predestined future that God has for them, confident, you know? Yeah. I think when I reflect on the journey over the years, the different struggles and things that I've had, you know, through, you know, moving to Australia and realizing that it was really challenging and isolating, then being in a marriage that was pretty tough for a number of years, and then, you know, dealing with health issues now in life, you know, those things can be really challenging. And there were times where I wanted to give up, where I just didn't know how I could keep moving forward. But over the years, for me, seriously, it was when I found Jesus. It was when I found out about what He had done for me, the sacrifice that He had made, the pain that He had been through, the fact that He had forgiven what we would call the unforgivable, the fact that He had forgiven me, made it easy for me to be able to forgive those that had hurt me. So I would just really like to encourage anybody else that's going through a hard time. You know, right now, it can seem like you are shipwrecked, you know, washed up on a shore, and you're trying to search what the heck you're here for, you know. But there is a purpose, there is a plan for your life. So I just want to encourage you, keep your head up, keep putting one foot in front of the other. I think pain can be really isolating. So I think it's really important that when we go through hard times that we don't isolate ourselves. There's always someone, there will always be someone in your corner, and you just have to reach out. Don't worry about being embarrassed. Don't worry about what people might think of you. When you reach out, you'll be so surprised that there will be somebody there that's just willing to accept you right where you're at, and you know, and help you get to the next step. So yeah, so I just want to encourage you, keep going. My dad, he was an amazing man. He's passed away now. He passed away when he was only 46. But he used to always say to us kids, kia kaha. And in my native language, that means be strong. And I've always taken that to heart. No matter what, kia kaha, be strong. Keep moving forward, keep going. But most importantly, I want to encourage you, even when you feel like you don't have the words to say, when you don't feel like you have a person to speak to, you can always just say a little prayer to God. Just talk to Him. You don't have to be an expert or anything like that. He's not wanting you to, He doesn't want you to articulate really well. Just tell Him exactly how you're feeling, and you'll be surprised that your new door will open. He will open the right door for you to find that healing, to find that peace, and to find that hope again. So be encouraged and be blessed. Yeah. God, I step through the door. I lift up my hands and adore the God who restores. Broken, smashed, no more God. I know what I'm here for. The poor, the lost, the broken, those who feel like they've been washed up on the shore, alive yet alone, longing for a home. Jesus, let me be your light that shines so bright so that others can delight in the purest of light, Jesus. Yeah.